Hello everyone, thanks for joining us for the news. Tonight we'll bring you news about a judge sentenced in the college rape case, news of a river rescue along the mighty Kern, news of Wednesday's City Council meeting, the Second Amendment under attack in Sacramento. Notice that the Ridgecrest Animal Shelter is offering free kittens and cats right now. Today's KZGN Talking Points editorial, weather, sports, and much more.
From the Rademacher Hills to Bee Mountain and the mighty Sierras, Ridgecrest to Inyo Kern and China Lake. This is your news for the Indian Wells Valley with the KZGN News Crew.
Hello, I'm Tom Winnick. Thanks for joining us for the news affecting Ridgecrest and the Indian Wells Valley. In the aftermath of the ridiculous sentence handed down by a judge for a convicted rapist, members of the Legislative Women's Caucus raised awareness about sexual assault on college campuses by reading excerpts of the Stanford University Rape Survivors Impact Statement on the Senate floor. Senators in the Legislative Women's Caucus read a portion of the moving statement by Emily Doe, whose identity is being protected. Here are excerpts of the survivor statement read by Senate Republican leader Jean Fuller, Senator Pat Bates, and Senator Janet Nguyen.
Let me begin with a victim statement. Your Honor, if it is all right for the majority of this statement, I would like to address the defendant directly. You don't know me, but you've been inside me, and that's why we're here today. On January 17th, 2015, it was a quiet Saturday night at home. My dad made some dinner, and I sat at the table with my younger sister, who was visiting for the weekend. I was working full-time, and it was approaching my bedtime. I planned to stay at home by myself, watch some TV, and read, while she went to a party with her friends. Then I decided it was my only night with her. I had nothing better to do, so why not? There's a dumb party 10 minutes from my house. I would go, dance like a fool, and embarrass my younger sister.
So after we were brought down to the station, I tried to put it out of my mind, but it was so heavy. I didn't talk. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. I didn't interact with anyone. After work, I would drive to a secluded place to scream. I didn't talk. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. I didn't interact with anyone. And I became isolated from the ones I loved most. For over a week after the incident, I didn't get any calls or updates about that night or what happened to me. The only symbol that proved that it hadn't just been a bad dream was the sweatshirt from the hospital in my drawer.
To sit under oath and inform all of us that yes, I wanted it, yes, I permitted it, and that you are the true victim attacked by Swedes for reasons unknown to you is appalling, is demented, is selfish, is damaging. It is enough to be suffering. It is another thing to have someone ruthlessly working to diminish the gravity and validity of this suffering.
Just after 6 a.m. yesterday, Kern County firefighters in Kernville were called to rescue a woman that was stuck on a rock in the Kern River. The woman had been stuck on the rock through the night and exhibited signs of hypothermia. Crews were able to safely bring her ashore utilizing ropes and a cinch collar. She was warmed with blankets and taken by ambulance to a local hospital for evaluation. The 33-year-old woman was with 3 other adults that decided to begin rafting the trip down the river after sundown. When their raft capsized, the other 3 individuals made it safely to shore. Not knowing where they were, the 3 decided to stay on the shore near the woman. As temperatures dropped, the 3 decided to start a warming fire. At some point during the night, the warming fire spread into grass and burned approximately 1/8 of an acre. After crews rescued the woman, they extinguished the smoldering remains of the fire. There are many lessons to be taken from this incident. Namely, do not underestimate the power of the Kern River. Each year, people die in its waters. Never get in the river at night. Hazards that are difficult to see during the day certainly cannot be seen at night. Know where you are at all times and know how to get help. Do not start fires near brush and dry grass. Wildfires can destroy entire communities. You will be liable for the cost to fight a fire if you do that. On a positive note, nobody was seriously injured this time around, and all 4 were wearing life jackets. The moral of the story? Respect that river. In city news, Wednesday evening, the Ridgecrest City Council will meet at City Hall at 6 p.m. First on the agenda, they'll make a presentation of recognition honoring police dispatcher Sharon Homer on the occasion of her retirement. Next on the consent calendar, First, they'll consider awarding a construction contract to Griffith Company for the road realignment and widening of Drummond Avenue from Inyo Street to Down Street in the amount of $469,000. And then another contract to the Griffith Company for the road rehabilitation and resurfacing of South China Lake Boulevard from Bowman Road to College Heights in the amount of $457,000. Then they'll consider awarding a professional service agreement with Wildan Engineering in the amount of $99,000 to provide construction management for the 2016 street improvement project. And then another contract in the amount of $56,000 to provide construction management for the Gateway Boulevard project. And then one more contract with Wildan in the amount of $47,000 to provide construction management for the Richmond Road Bike Path project. Then the Council will consider approving a letter of protest to Antelope Valley Cancer Center regarding the closure of the Radiation Therapy Department Ridgecrest office. Next, there will be public hearings. First, they'll hold a public hearing regarding the annexation to the existing Ridgecrest Landscaping and Lighting District. They'll have a tabulation of the protest ballots received regarding the proposed new assessments and adoption of resolutions declaring the results of the property owner protest ballot proceeding conducting for the levy of assessments related and confirming the annexation of tracts 6700 and 6775 to the Ridgecrest Landscaping and Lighting District. The diagram and assessments related thereto, overruling all protests concerning the assessments and ordering the levy and collection of assessments for fiscal year 2016-17. And next, in a similar process, they'll approve an assessment district for landscaping. They'll do the same as they did the landscaping one for the drainage benefit assessment. It'll be a district for the same area. Next on the agenda will be discussion and other action items. First, they'll consider nominating and appointing a new member of the Ridgecrest Planning Commission to fill a vacancy due to a resignation. Then they'll continue budget discussions for fiscal year 2016-17, establishing appropriations, estimating revenues, and establishing the policies by which the budget may be and shall be amended. This could be the final meeting of the budget if they go ahead and approve it at this meeting. So if anyone has any input into the budget, this would be the time to attend. Now news, the Second Amendment is under attack like never seen before in California. As we report this story, the California legislature is considering final approval of 5 anti-gun bills. None of these bills will do anything to fight crime or take guns out of the hands of people that shouldn't have them. It's time to start calling Governor Brown's office. Call there and declare that these laws are not going to do anything to stop crime. By passing prohibitions that are a ban on items that are currently legal to own will make millions of current legal gun owners criminals. These are terrible new laws. If you agree, help spread the word to your friends and family. Start calling the governor now to voice your concerns about these new proposed laws. Encourage him to veto them. And if you call his office, you can call him at 916-445-2841. Or you can email him. If you just go to the website www.govnews.ca.gov, there is a simple form to fill out and send to him. I've done it online. It's easy. Don't be silent. Act now. In news for the Ridgecrest Animal Shelter, we get this report. They have kittens, kittens, and more kittens. Dozens of them. All colors and sizes. Right now, adoption is free with approved application. Free adoption includes spay or neuter, current vaccines, microchip, and free health exam. The Ridgecrest Animal Shelter is located out on County Line Road. It is open 5 days per week, Tuesday through Saturday. They are open from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. If you're looking for a new member of your family, please make the shelter your first stop. They have many great dogs and cats just waiting for a new home. I got my current dog out there and she's great. Adopt, don't shop, as they're saying. Together, we can save them all. Now stay with us. After the break, we'll have the KZGN News Talking Points editorial. Thanks for staying with us. Now it's time for the 151st KZGN News Talking Points editorial. Here's today's topic: terror. Who or what is to blame? Well, by now everyone should know about the terror attack in Orlando, Florida last Sunday. It truly was a tragic event, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the families affected by this cowardly attack. As Sunday went on, we learned more and more about the attack and the attacker. and I'm sure there will still be more to come out on this one. But I cringe at what the pundits are now blaming the causes are. Again, in the beginning, the liberal media were very cautious to be politically correct to not call it terror before there was an official statement. In comparison, Fox News was calling it a terror attack within the first hour. Finally, after about 5 hours, all the news stations were on the same page calling it a terror attack. However, even before they were willing to call it a terror attack, the liberal news sources were already blaming guns and expressing the need for more gun control. Now here's an interesting comment I heard late Sunday evening. This is almost a full 24 hours after the attack. All the stations were discussing the terror attack and calling it an extremist attack. Then I heard this one, and this one is astonishing. Now pay attention to this. Again, this is after even the White House had confirmed the attack to be a terror attack by the extremist terrorists associated with ISIS. Okay, are you ready? On MSNBC, there was an interview with Kelly O'Donnell. The program host mentioned that so far Obama has had to deal with 16 tragic shootings. One of Kelly's replies was as follows, and this is paraphrased. She answered, "Yes, he has had to deal with these shootings all too often. He's had to deal with shootings like Sandy Hook, Columbine, the theater shooting in Colorado, and now this one in Orlando." Now get ready, here's for the doozy comment. She said, "And now this one in Orlando that has implications of being a terror attack." Did you catch that? Implications of terror attack. After all news stations have shown press conferences of law enforcement officials on TV stating that it was declared allegiance to ISIS during the attack, Kelly comes along and says, implications of a terror attack. And one other thing, in case you didn't notice it, the other examples she used in this report were not shootings by Islamist extremists. They were shootings by deranged Americans that did the shootings for other than religious reasons. She didn't even mention San Bernardino, the Boston bombers, the attack on Fort Hood, and oh, don't forget the attack in, I think it was South Carolina, where the guy sat in on a whole prayer service in the church, then at the end got up and started shooting everyone in the church in the name of ISIS. So now you ask, why is this important? Because it clearly shows the liberal media wanting to stay away from the Islamist extremists at all costs, and yet attack guns. Advocate for more gun control. Islam extremists aren't the problem. Guns are the problem. The outrage by the liberals that the Republicans do not enact more gun control infuriates them. I can say this is one area where the Washington Republicans have been doing the right thing. They have blocked all gun control proposals from liberals. Of course, the president has done illegal executive orders expanding gun controls, and for that, conservatives have been mad at Congress for not fighting him on those executive orders. But back to this outrageous statement by Kelly O'Donnell on MSNBC. To refer to the Orlando extreme Islam terror attack as an attack that has implications of being terror-related is unbelievable. Now, as far as may be legislation that would be used to stop terrorists from getting guns, that would be appropriate, but I'm not sure how they could pass a law like that. Over the last couple of days, I did hear some meaningful discussion on the issue, that maybe there is a way to ban guns from people with terrorist ties, but this too would require a constitutional test. And here's notice to all gun owners out there. If you are even thinking of supporting Clinton for president, be aware she has declared that she does not believe the right to own guns is an individual right. She believes the Supreme Court was wrong when they made that decision, and that the Supreme Court needs to reconsider that decision. And the next president will appoint more than one Supreme Court justice for sure. Clinton also supports a ban on any and all assault-style guns. Anyway, the liberal media is so biased against guns that it's ridiculous. They blame guns for all these terror attacks. Well, don't forget the Boston bombers. Don't forget the one college where a student went nuts and first stabbed to death his roommates before going to the college and shooting a couple people. Guns aren't the problem. Crazy people are the problem. And as far as the ban on assault weapons, why? Why should we allow the government to disarm us when the bad guys will still have the guns? We have a right to defend ourselves from these bad guys. The police cannot be there when they attack. Look at Orlando. Think about this. What if someone in that club had been in possession of a concealed handgun? What if they had been able to draw their concealed gun and protect themselves and others? Could there possibly be less death to deal with today? Maybe. Anyway, banning guns will do nothing to stop future gun violence. All responsible gun owners believe guns should be kept out of the hands of criminals and mentally unstable people. Coming up with a constitutional law that deals with mentally challenged people and maybe some new law that deals with terrorists and terrorist organizations might help. I don't know what those laws would look like, though. But I do know that disarming we the people is not the answer. People that can legally own a firearm are allowed to do so. That right should not be infringed upon. And oh, by the way, hats off to Trump for his strong support for the Second Amendment in a speech yesterday. He was point on in his support for gun ownership, and no bans on guns would come under a Trump administration. And finally, to Kelly O'Donnell on MSNBC, get a grip on reality. Orlando was not an attack on a nightclub with terror implications. It was an extreme Islamist terrorist attacking defenseless citizens. People that are now dead or wounded because of this coward. All in the name of ISIS. In conclusion, hey liberal media, Obama and Clinton, get real. Call terror attacks what they are. Don't blame inanimate guns. They don't hurt anybody. People do. The Constitution gives me the right to own a gun and defend myself and my family from the bad guys that want to harm or kill. I'm Tom Whitnick, and that's what I think. I'd like to know what you think. If you have any comments about this editorial or would like to discuss or recommend a topic, I'd like to hear from you. Please email them to info@KZGN.net. Thanks for staying with us. Now here's Lane with the weather.
Thank you, Tom. From the National Weather Service, severe thunderstorms containing large hail, damaging winds, and a few tornadoes will be possible each afternoon and evening into midweek over portions of the central and northern high plains. Heavy downpours may also lead to localized flooding concerns. Temperatures across the nation. Carolinas at 84, Georgia at 94, Arkansas at 87, Northern Texas at 94, Arizona at 90, and Los Angeles at 64. And for us locally, tonight, clear with a low around 68, southwest wind 20 to 25 miles per hour with gusts as high as 30. Wednesday, sunny with a high near 89, southwest wind 15 to 25 miles per hour with gusts as high as 35. Wednesday night, clear with a low around 64, west-southwest wind 20 to 25 miles per hour with gusts as high as 35. Thursday, sunny with a high near 89, west-southwest wind 15 miles per hour. Thursday night, clear with a low around 65, west-southwest wind 10 to 15 miles per hour with gusts as high as 25. Friday, sunny with a high near 93, south-southwest wind 5 miles per hour. Friday night, clear with a low around 66, west-southwest wind 10 to 20 miles per hour. And Saturday, sunny with a high near 100, west wind 5 miles per hour. And that is your forecast for the IWV. Now back to Tom.
So that's the news for today. Also, KZGN-TV know you have a choice in what you watch for your news. We all thank you for choosing KZGN-TV, Ridgecrest's only locally owned community TV station. Now stay tuned for Ridgecrest Talk. But first, here's a video from probably the world's best soccer goalie.